Where do you draw the line between your own personal freedom and your duty to the group? It's honestly one of the oldest, toughest questions in philosophy. And it really gets to the heart of this huge conflict, the individual versus the collective.
All right, let's just make this personal for a second. When push really comes to shove, what do you put first? Is it your right to choose, to do your own thing? Or is it the greater good, the well-being of the whole community? It's not so easy to answer, is it? And the answer a society gives to that question, well, it has massive consequences. I mean, this isn't just some abstract debate for a philosophy class. The way a culture leans, one way or the other, literally shapes its laws, its economy, its entire way of life. So let's explore one side of that coin first. We're going to step into the world of individualism, a philosophy that has had a huge impact on the modern West. At its core, individualism is, well, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a way of thinking that puts the individual first. The main goal here is to expand a person's freedom as much as possible.
The source material we're looking at connects this idea directly to Western capitalism. The whole idea is that freedom of action is king. You're free to do what you want, and as the source points out, that can even go to the point where it might harm someone else. The ultimate goal is for every single person to just work and live however they see fit. But, and this is a big but, what happens when you take that idea to the absolute extreme? Well, the source gives us a pretty stark warning with this quote. The argument is that if you let individualism run wild, it can turn into pure selfishness and egoism, and that starts to tear apart the very bonds that hold a community together.
Okay, so that's one pole of the argument. Now, let's flip the script and look at the other side of this. We're going to move from the individual to the power of the group, collectivism. So collectivism is the total opposite. The focus is no longer on the individual. Instead, it's all about the state or the collective. This whole philosophy is built on expanding the government's power to control, well, pretty much everything an individual does. And just like individualism was linked to Western capitalism, the source connects collectivism to Eastern communism. In this kind of system, the rules are all handed down from the top, and individuals often don't get a say in how things are run. The person becomes, as the source puts it, just a small cog in a giant machine. And once again, when you take it to the extreme, the results are pretty severe. This quote really captures the fear here. The total wiping out of the individual. Your identity, your freedom, even your own thoughts and feelings, they all become less important than what the state needs. So there you have it, two powerful opposing ideas. But what happens when you follow either one all the way to the end? Let's take a look at the consequences when either of these philosophies goes too far.
And check this out. This really shows how intense this conflict is. The original text you're seeing here doesn't just call them different philosophies. It actually describes them as opposing religions. That's some powerful language, right? It's like they're two completely separate belief systems and you have to pick one.
Here's where we see it all laid out, side by side. Go too far with individualism, and you get a kind of selfishness that just rips society apart. Go too far with collectivism, and you completely crush the person, taking away their freedom. You see the pattern? Both extremes end up being destructive in their own way.
So, what's the big takeaway here from the source? It seems pretty clear. Neither extreme really works. Both paths, when you take them to their absolute conclusion, create this massive imbalance. One crushes the community for the individual, the other crushes the individual for the community. And either way, you lose something absolutely essential to being human.
And that, of course, leaves us with the million-dollar question. If total freedom leads to chaos and total control leads to oppression, where do you find the real balance? How does a society manage to build something that respects both the individual and the group? That's the challenge, and it's one that every generation really has to figure out for itself.